Namaste students. Today we are going to see the first chapter of mathematics of standard 7, that is geometrical construction. First we recall some basic concepts. Angle, bisector. We know that union of two rays having common origin is called as an angle. This is first ray BC, and this one is another ray. The name of this ray is ray BA. Now the union of these two rays, ray BA and ray BC, is called an angle ABC. Now bi means two, sector means parts, two equal parts. Now a ray which divides the given angle into the two parts, a ray which divides given angle into two equal parts means equal angles. It's called an angle bisector of that angle. Now here, if we divide this angle into two equal parts, this one is a ray and this ray, name of this ray is BD. In figure, in this figure, the angle ABD is congruent to angle DBC. Therefore, ray BD bisects angle ABC. Ray BD bisects the angle ABC. Therefore, ray BD is a bisector of angle ABC. It means a ray, this ray BD, this is the ray BD. Ray BD bisects angle ABC into two equal parts. Therefore, ray BD is called the angle bisector of angle ABC. It means a ray which divides given angle into two equal angles is called an angle bisector of that angle. Concept: bisector of a line segment. Bisector of a line segment means a line passing through midpoint of a segment it's called bisector of that line segment. Now here these 2 points, when we join these 2 points with a ruler, line segment AB is formed. This is line segment AB, and this point M is the midpoint of segment AB. Line which passes through the midpoint of a segment, this one is a line. This line pass through the midpoint, and this another line also pass through the midpoint, and this another line also pass through the midpoint M. That means innumerable lines can drawn through the midpoint. It means that every line segment has innumerable bisectors. This is this line L, M and N. Line L, M and N passes through the midpoint of segment AB. So line L, M and N are called bisectors of line segment AB. Perpendicular bisector of a line segment means the perpendicular line drawn through the midpoint of a line segment is called a perpendicular bisector of that segment. Perpendicular line drawn through midpoint of a segment is called perpendicular bisector of that segment. Here this is a segment PQ. We join these points P and Q with the ruler. We get segment PQ. This point M is midpoint of segment PQ, and this line L is perpendicular and passes through the midpoint of the segment PQ. So this perpendicular line drawn through the midpoint of a segment is called perpendicular bisector of that segment. Here segment PM and segment QM, both these segments are congruent. PM is congruent with the QM, that means M is a midpoint, and line L is perpendicular to segment PQ. This is a perpendicular line passing through the midpoint, and therefore line L is a perpendicular bisector of segment PQ. The first practice set: draw line segments of lengths given below and draw their perpendicular bisectors. He says that draw line segment of length 5.3 cm. First we draw line segment of length 5.3 cm. This is a segment AB of length 5.3 cm. Now we use compass to draw perpendicular bisector. We take more than half, आधे से ज़्यादा, and we draw arcs, one above the line segment and other below the line segment. With the same distance, we place metal end on another end point and we draw another arcs above the line segment and below the line segments. And we draw a line passing through the midpoint, passing through the intersecting points of the arcs. We see that this line passes through this line cuts the segment AB and it is perpendicular to the segment AB, and when we measure this AM and this BM, both are equal. That means M is a midpoint and this line L, name of this line is a line L. This line L is perpendicular. The perpendicular line passes through the midpoint of a segment. It's called perpendicular bisector of the segment. Here similarly, first in a second example we draw the line segment of length 6.7 cm. This one is a line segment of length 6.7 cm. We mention the length of the segment here 5.3 cm and this one is a 6.7 cm. Here first we take a compass. We take distance more than half between the two ends of a compass and we draw arcs, one above the segment, other below the segment. With the same distance we draw arcs above the segment and below the segment. Now we draw a line passing through the midpoints of these segments. We draw the line passing through the intersecting points of the arcs, and this line is perpendicular to the segment PQ and it passes through the midpoint of the segment. So this line is called the perpendicular bisector of the segment PQ.